Hey guys, DeathClock Dave here, and welcome to another Wednesday night live stream battle report recap. Before we get into it, I just want to talk a little bit about Attack X, which is a big con we have coming up here in Kamloops. From the date of this recording, I think we're at 9 days away. So it is September 14th, 15th, and 16th here in Kamloops, British Columbia. It is a big gaming con that has all sorts of tabletop war games, everything from obviously Warmachine Hordes to 40k, Age of Sigmar, the Star Wars games like X-Wing. They've also got a whole floor for role-playing stuff, so there'll be a whole bunch of different systems that are being run that way, and different demos and things. And they've also added this year things like Magic the Gathering, so there's literally something for everybody. There's also a room for buying and selling, so you can actually put anything that you want sold in that room. It will be sold on your behalf while you're gaming, so great way to get that exposure for anything that you want to sell. So on Friday we're running a Champions event for Warmachine Hordes. That Champions event is an Iron Gauntlet qualifier, so it gives you the opportunity to net some points. And then on Saturday, Sunday, we have Masters, which is also Iron Gauntlet qualifier, and gives you the opportunity to grab those points. The event also falls on the same weekend as the WTC, which means that all of the players from the WTC will not be there, so gives you a little bit better chances of netting some points there. So hope to see some folks out in the evenings. We do fun things like team tournaments and that sort of thing, so it's a really good time. Kamloops is beautiful that time of year, and it's pretty affordable to stay here as well. So without further ado, we'll talk a little bit about the matchup. So this evening we had Chris Birch playing as Grymkin versus myself playing Convergence, doing something a little bit different this evening. We were playing our Champions pairing to get some practice for the Friday of Attack X. And Chris, what was your pairing this evening?
My pairing was Old Witch3 and the Child.
All right. And what themes were they in?
The Child was in Dark Menagerie, and Old Witch3 was in Bump in the Night.
Right. Okay. So, and for Champions, there's a limited set of casters that you can choose from, and then you also have to choose from the two themes in that cycle, and you have to choose different themes. So, I chose Orion in Destruction Initiative and Father Lucant in Clockwork Legions. And Chris, what did you choose to play this evening?
Tonight I picked Old Witch3.
All right, and why did you pick Old Witch?
So when looking over both lists, I saw that basically one was a recursion armor brick, and the other list was going to be a shooty list. The Child does great into the armor brick, whereas Old Witch3 does great into the shooting brick. And I figured with Old Witch3 I have the best of both worlds. I can do some damage into an armor brick with the ability to recursion back my
your ponies,
my little ponies,
murder ponies. Yep,
my little ponies. You heard it first.
Yep.
And I figured that was the best drop in that situation.
Makes sense. So I ended up choosing Orion. So the thinking was that, again, the LeConte brick was not going to be happy into Child because he has lots of punch for the armor, and he's also got a spell that prevents orders. So that means all of my shield wall units would not be getting shield wall in that particular bubble for the spell range, which is very, very sad. So that's why I chose that, because I knew that it was going to be potentially bad there, and I liked Orion into Child better. I knew Orion was going to be bad potentially into Old Witch because she's got, is it called Windstorm or Windwall? Windstorm, which is -5 range on all your guns, which is really, really bad for Orion.
Especially on a battle engine caster.
Yeah, Orion loves to be shooting things. That, and you've got a range extension ability. 18
inches on top of a battle engine.
Yeah, which is huge. So that makes Orion very sad. So I think it probably would have been a better matchup for me if I had chosen the LeConte with the list chicken and ended it up into Old Witch, and then it would have been definitely a slog, but at least my heart high armor would have made some things more difficult to remove, at least, and the shooting wouldn't have been an issue because I have 0 shooting in that list. But excited to get some Lucant on the table with some Clockwork Legions just to give it a try. I know the general consensus is that Clockwork Legions isn't very good, but I want to at least give it a whirl. I like the idea of high armor dude spam recursion, so sounds good. So we are doing scenario 3, which is spread the net this evening. I won the roll and decided to go first. I wanted to try and get as far up the board as possible. I knew he was going to be pushing forward and getting his -5 range out with his control area extension and everything, so I just wanted to be farther up the board. And you chose the side of the table that had more, I think, had more cover and...
I picked the table edge that was closest to me.
No, that's true.
They both had plenty of forest. They had plenty of rough terrain.
All the cover and stuff was, all the defensive terrain was on this side.
Yeah,
so on the side
and I just basically picked it because I looked at it and went, either way, I got to cast a lot of boundless charge to go anywhere.
There you go. Gotcha. So scenario 3, which is spread the net, there's lots of scoring elements in this scenario, and it is easy to score early and often. So we have 2 rectangular zones which are oriented horizontally and can be scored by Warcaster Warlock and Warbeast Warjack's battle engines. We have a central circular zone which is Warcaster Warlock units. I have a grand total of 1 unit in this army, and then we have 2 flags which are Warcaster Warlock solo. So lots of scoring elements in this scenario, and it's relatively easy to score on your own zone early, and also typically not too bad to score on your own flag because it's so far forward. So lots of scoring possible that way. So here, just a quick look at the table as we're getting set up. So at the very bottom of the screen, you can see a hill. To the right of that and above a bit, you can see some water. In the center of the table, we have a house, which is an obstruction. To the right of that, we have a forest. Above and to the left of that, we have another forest. To the left of the forest at the top, we have rubble, which is rough terrain and cover if you are fully within. And then down below and to the left, we have another forest. And then finally below that, we have a wall. So you can see there's multiple cover options on Chris's side of the table, and also you can stand in the forest to get the concealment and be in the zone as well. So so here I am just getting set up here. I know I want to make sure that I have Orion central. That way I can do my best to spread his feet and cover as much of the table as possible. It's 16 inches with the corollary, which covers a lot of real estate on the table if you're central. I had my Tep to the left. I wanted to be able to kind of swing around that house and threaten as much of the left side of the table as possible. We've got a Ground Pounder Jack, so an assimilator to the left of the Tep. Just to get in there, I know Ground Pounder is going to be very difficult to be landing properly because I'm -5 range, which puts me at 5.5 inches, which is that puts me at 10.5 inches total threat with my movement. So that's definitely not what I like to be seeing with Ground Pounders. We've got a suite of Servitors to the left for shield guards and to basically be running in to contest his zone. To the right of Orion, I've got my Corollary. Cypher in the middle to be dropping down some rough terrain templates. He has a lot of Pathfinder in the list on the charge, so not as big of a deal. And then another assimilator, and then the monitor on the far right. I wanted the monitor on the far right to try and skirt his 18-inch, -5-inch shooting bubble, so that I could potentially be getting some good shots off there. And I've got my arc nodes placed in the back too. My plan is early to try and get some well-placed magic bullets to try and take out the madcaps if possible, because I hate those things. So, Chris, how are you setting up here?
So here I'm just setting up with the Old Witch to the right a little bit because I feel that's probably better off. I can start holding that zone and make it almost impossible. I bring both my ponies in a little bit closer because I want to see which way he's going to try to go, if he's going to run across or if he's going to try to, counter off what I'm doing. I put up all my hollow men up onto the top left right here, just because I feel that it's best to go around the flag. You put a bunch of dudes there. They can recursion only off the whole 3 models in his list.
Technically, my arc nodes are
5.
Yeah.
5.
Yep.
And then I put up the both madcaps up on left and right flanks just to spew dudes.
Do what madcaps do. Yeah.
Do what they do. Spew dudes and get going.
Yep. Yeah. That's.
Here also, I would like to note I was very rushed while putting this together, and I mixed my 2 lists in my head. I have Crabbits on the field right now that are not supposed to be there. Yes. They'll be gone within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And earlier on, I actually brought in
all the not hollow men, the pumpkin heads.
Pumpkin heads. So what I ended up, I used to run this list with 3 units of pumpkin heads. So I'm so used to dropping them on the table.
Like, that's a lot of stuff on the table. I don't remember these things.
If you would have let me keep going with it, I probably would have kept going.
Especially with the shield guards. I'm like, no, the little shooting I'm going to get.
We tried trading. He didn't want to take servitors. I could have them.
Yeah.
So
I told him he could keep those models on if I could have 2 extra taps, but for some reason he didn't go for that. So
no, you said you wanted servitors for your tap.
Yeah.
Just an extra. You have 6.
There you go.
6 things on your tap.
So I'm just checking here because I know, just doing the math in my head for him charging and doing his range, -5 range spell plus the range amplifier, whatever it's called on his control range. It ends up being, I think it's 23 inches, or
it's 5 plus 18 plus
23 or 27 inches. You can also boundless charge yourself.
23.
It's very far.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously far. So I basically, if I move, I'm in it.
I could be over halfway up the table.
Yeah, so I just decide to make sure I'm going to be up far enough, as far as I can, because I know I'm going to be getting hit with most of it anyway, and because my ranges are so short, I need to be in his face as much as possible. So I trampled up the monitor on the right flank. So trick with Orion, he gives Field Marshal Repo 3 to all of his jacks. So if you trample them up, you can actually move an additional 3 inches, which is actually farther than actually running your heavies, especially the Speed 4 heavies.
It's exactly how Cray operates too.
Yep. So did that to get him up farther. I want to go after the Madcap up at the top if at all possible. Get an Assimilator Central. Corollaries moved up and got his free focus for being close to the caster. Cypher is central to try and drop down some rough terrain templates. Normally he's more useful in that regard, but he on his side of the table he's got lots of Relentless Charge and Pathfinder, that sort of thing. So and
Balanced Charge on stick.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not
nothing's really worrying me at this point.
Yeah. So moving my other heavies up. So my Assimilator is trampling up and repoing forward just to make sure that I'm far enough forward, but also not getting shot on the first turn unneedingly. Or there's one Madcap in the front there. I just want to make sure I didn't stupidly put myself in a potential walk and explode range. Just getting my servitors smattered around. I tried to put a decent number on my far left and far right flank so I could use them as contesting pieces. They're quite easily removed, but it prevents him at least from scoring freely on his turn. And with -5 range, they're quite sad. Mm-hmm. So they're really just going to be shield guards and just running into contests there. So that is my turn. Oh, and I got Avenging Force up, of course, as well, like a good Orion player, because that's great. So Chris, what are you looking at here?
So I start off my turns like every other time I start off my first turn. Run the Madcap. Get those Cask Imps up. Mm-hmm. If they blow up, let them blow up when there's nothing around them.
Yep, makes sense.
So here I'm just running them up at the board. Just here they are. And then from here I'm just moving things up like good old Trapperkin turns into a door.
Yeah.
It's just scary.
Yeah, those guys are jerks.
And then I had to tell Dave halfway through that it gets 4 dice on a charge. 5 dice if it's in the back arc.
I knew they had fancy stuff with being in the back arc, but I didn't realize they were innately weapon masters.
Pound 9 weapon master, back arc.
Those guys I hate those guys.
They're great. So here I am. I know exactly what my first turn has to hold. Basically everything runs up. Mm-hmm. I make the mistake on this turn here, not playing aggressive enough. I should have played more aggressive with Old Witch herself. With 6 camp, she should be fine. Mm-hmm. And just forcing him to have to basically deal with it, and pushing that aura out further. As a result, I actually lose one of my Madcaps at the top of the screen there, because I just don't push hard enough. Yep.
It's it would have been because if you're up far enough, then you're potentially in TEP range too. So it's a trade off.
You basically what you gotta do then is you gotta feat to try to kill the Old Witch. I have 6 transfers. I'll kill my own things, and then you give me your tap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you're not shooting something else that matters.
Yeah, that's true. You got Mr. Longfellow in the back
Longfellow
of the
is sitting right where he is, just to draw attention.
More than 3 inches back.
Yes.
To block line of sight.
And then here comes some juicy targets.
Murder ponies. And your Cage Rager?
Cage Rager.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm just moving up, just making room for Old Witch to go last. Mm-hmm. Just moving everybody up, making sure I got enough focus everywhere, riling where I need to rile.
And you've got it's the Frightmare down to
Frightmare's on the bottom.
Right? Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And here you go with the Old Witch. And did you just walk?
Oh, walked.
Okay, yeah.
Because I can't run and I can't run and cast.
Or well, you can cast first and then like charge or whatever. But
this time I just only decided to walk, which I moved a little bit too much central as well. I should have pushed hard. Was worried more about the TEP than I probably should have been at armor 20.
Well, the TEP is the biggest threat in the list because you can't affect the range in it. That's the big thing. But because my other guns are definitely sad at -5 range.
5.5 range. 5.5 ground pounders, people.
Yeah, that makes me. I'm like, oh man, I'm actually gonna have to melee stuff with this list. That's not something I do. I just slap that +2 rat configuration on him the whole game long, and then just forget that people have melee attacks. So here I'm just checking to see how far out, because you did choose the control range
and
to get and your windstorm or whatever to make sure that you're covering as much of my army as possible. My monitor is far enough out, which is good. So I here I'm just kind of measuring out what I'm going to be able to get where. Again, I want to try to get some magic bullets onto the madcaps if possible. I want to take those stupid things out because otherwise, you just got kind of an endless stream of free solos, and it's not just throwaway solos. They're solos that actually do. It's PAL 14 AoE 4s, so they do a fair amount of damage as well, and it's just endless contesting models. So I wanted to try to take those out early. I've had bad experiences with them in the past, so here I'm kind of figuring out where everything's going to go, figuring out where I can put my TEP. I saw that he put his murder ponies there close enough that I could get some good sprays with my TEP, because they're not super high armor and defense, right? They're 12 or 13 or something. So I wanted to try to cripple some of those. He can bring them back, but they cannot. They don't get a combat action when they come back. So at least if I'm killing some, it's some headway. Ideally, you want to take out the entire unit so that there is no recursion, but with -5 range, it's even with magic bullet, it's difficult to get those shots where they need to be. So so just figuring out if I put my TEP there, what else I can hit with the extra shot, so I can get some extra madcaps. I can get another pony. And get some good work out of the TEP. I think I probably should have been more conservative with the TEP. I should have had my my heavies more out front, because the TEP is, with the range not being affected, it's kind of the biggest threat especially to Old Witch on say feet turn, and even just to the rest of his models too, because I can get it can take so many infantry models out on feet turn as well. So so here just figuring out where my focus and everything's going to go after I've kind of proxied everything out. The plan is to put magic bullet on the diffuser at the bottom left there. You can see he's got one focus on there. I want to boost to make sure I hit it, so I am outside of the range. I'm shooting at the middle guy,
no, bottom guy,
or the bottom guy, because Any is within 4 inches. So shooting there, he's got lucky in case he does miss. It kills that guy, and then it's a POW 12, which is dice off 3. Dice off. Oh no. Yeah. Dice off 3. Dice off 3. So I needed to roll an 8.
I used armor 15.
Armor 15, POW 12, dice off 3.
Yeah.
So I needed to roll an 8 to kill it, and I did. In a blaze of glory, it exploded, but luckily it did not land on any of my stuff. I've had the explosion from that thing kill my stuff in the past, and that's no fun. I can't remember if I did repo with him there, just to make sure I'm back far away from the death pony, so they can't get me. Here, really wishing my ground pounder would be more effective, because again, I can't really get, if I get up there to use ground pounder, I'm just going to get charged by the entire unit, because they do have relentless charge and can come over that wall no problem. So just making sure I'm out of charge range as much as possible there. I'm also trying to be aware of my placement as well, because he does have the murder crows in ambush. You can't see them right now on the screen, and their prey target is my monitor at the far right of my flank there. So
top of the screen. Yes,
that's correct. So here I've got so I do have magic bullet on the far right monitor through my arc node as well. So here I'm shooting a boosted shot at the madcap itself. So it's a POW 13. If I crit, it's crit brutal as well. And I took out...
No crit, but you kill it.
No crit, but I killed it, and I took out, I think, just one of the madcaps with the POW 12 as well, just to limit what he could get in there. And then I believe I just repoed after that. But again, it didn't land anywhere juicy, which is great, because there's randomness to it, but it can definitely land in some very inconvenient places.
And it lights everything on fire.
Yes,
Continuous fire
which is bad too. So. Ran a attunement servitor at the top right just to be within his flag, so that he would have to at least clear it out. Again, very trivially removed, but it makes him work for it at least, or do something for it. And that's going to be the same thing on the left flank there. I've got a servitor that I have run in there just to make sure. I believe that's a servitor at the bottom left, right?
Yep, bottom say servitor, and then you can just run with the zone. Yeah,
just to be in there to contest. Here I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my Cypher. Again, he's sad in this matchup because there is lots of Pathfinder, and it also he's sad at 5.5 inches of range. So here I'm just shooting to get some rough terrain templates out on the board, just so it's something. That's really all he has to do, because I'm not close enough to be able to get the POW 6 blast damage on anything, for example. So just getting those out there so they're at least in the way. It helps to stop the madcaps where they can go, or Cask Imps, I guess they're called, because they do not have Pathfinder, and they do have to move in that straight line in the direction that he chooses. So it will at least slow them down. And I put one to the right as well to try to limit what can come in that way too. So here I come with my tip. I was able to get just to the side of the building there and do a spray where I think I've get 3 of the murder ponies, and I put I believe one servitor into extra dice to hit, and the other 2 into extra attacks. So I'm getting a total of 4 sprays. It would have been really nice to be able to get on Longfellow as well. If I had been able to, then I probably would have put another servitor to hit as well, because I really liked having Longfellow dead. And here I'm just spraying down some ponies, so I take out I think it was 3 that were close enough there. Can't get Longfellow because he is far enough into the forest that the spray won't reach him. And here I'm just spraying some extra Cask Imps, and also I notice that there is one more pony above the rectangular zone there that I can also spray to get rid of, because they have an armor piercing attack, which is bad time, so I wanted to try and limit what he can get to me. I should have had my jacks out front, I think, because my Tep is now vulnerable to at very least a couple of pony charges. He does have Boundless Charge as well, which can get him even farther. And they do have 2-inch reach on a charge, so even with servitors in the way, I can't stop them from reaching me. Yeah. So, and we're over to Chris.
So we start off the turn with doing all the reaving of the Furies, just measuring things out, seeing what's places where. This is the top of 2, is it not?
Bottom of 2, yeah.
So with the bottom of 2, I decided, hey, let's bring some birds.
Birdie birds.
In doing my usual gag, I don't actually go after my prey target. I instead go the other side, where typically people will be a little harder in. And I saw a bunch of juicy servitors. And I also noticed they had an arc node in the back there. If I can get into that arc node, he can't arc.
Yes.
So that was my whole plan with that.
Yes, I had him far enough back that you couldn't charge him. But
I did run to engage.
You can run, yes. Yeah, that's correct.
And I ran to engage the other servitor too, so you can't run servitors into my area. So
the murder birds are under the overlay on
underneath Orion.
Yes, that's correct.
So here I am just measuring, seeing who could be within 13. We agree that I can have a total of 3 guys that can make it in.
With Boundless Charge.
With Boundless Charge. They have to have Boundless Charge in order to make it with their total threat. So I start analyzing it here in a few minutes, and I start actually moving things to get things properly. But in my excitement, and Dave being a nice person, allowed me to finish my caster's activation.
Yes. I should have been like, no, this is a strict tournament type game. And, yes, you went back and you were able to cast your spells and do all your
I was just so excited.
Good times, yes. Because you got, is this where you got the crippling thing on the armor debuff on the Tep?
Yeah,
you got the...
Yeah, so I moved up, I got the armor debuff on the Tep, and then I went off to do other things, and I went, wait a minute.
Yeah, you did your windstorm
No windstorm this turn.
No winds. Oh, right, because you had all the boundless charges. You did feat.
No,
this
sorry,
turn.
no, I did win. I did this time.
Right.
I windstorm this time
because boundless charge costs you 1, windstorm costs you 2, and the whatchamacallit
2
costs you 2 for.
So I did 3.
You had 1 left, I think.
So I only did 2 balance charges this turn because I couldn't get my other.
That's right, because with the way you're facing was you couldn't get all of the boundless charges out that you had wanted to. So, so there's going to be some murder ponies.
Yep, and I brought them back.
Yes. Oh, right, because your feat activates all of your abilities.
3. I rolled 3. Mm-hmm. I elected to put 3 into 1. Mm-hmm. Quickly changed my mind before it became a thing. Mm-hmm. Moved 1 over to the other side, so at least I could have 2 full units because I had the sisters, and the sisters are very important.
Yeah, and they can bring dudes back.
So here I am actually just running off and doing like other things, going, woo! I'm so excited for everything. And it was really soon about here that I actually realized that I didn't activate my caster. Well, I did
finish the activation. Yeah.
So here we are. Madcaps are running just into a zone, and because Madcaps eating shots when they're free is great.
Yep. So there's 1 Madcap in the bottom of that zone, and then 1 at the far.
I think it was right here
right.
that dawned on me. Oops. Then we went
Dave
back.
being the nice guy that he is.
And then boom, 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 and then here we decided talking about where the angles are, and I cannot get the boundless charge at the bottom. Yep. So here we are. We tried to angle it. See if it even could have been possible.
Some of them were a little far back, so it's hard to get that.
Yeah, so here we are. We figure out nope. So I say, you know what? We'll just leave it over there. Don't matter. Because it's really the 2 that need to get into it.
Yeah, I've got Curse of Shadows on me anyway, so I'm -2 armor.
Yeah, with armor piercing brings them down to 10. Brings them down to 8. So dice off 1.
Yeah. Yeah,
and with only 23 boxes, I think you said it was.
Yes,
they're very squishy.
Yeah, so that's not squishy, but with those things and armor piercing, it's bad. So
yes,
yeah, it's
considering I think most battle engines are 30 plus now.
Yeah, something like that. The TEP,
but it's a glass cannon.
Yeah,
it is.
You really it's really good to take the TEP in lists. Like Axis really likes TEPs because he can protect them with counter charges and with his feet. So
here I am. I send the
Trapperkin
into him because I need to get him out of the way. Might as well throw some dice.
This is when I find out he is a natural weapon master, which makes me sad.
Yep, and good thing I didn't get in your back.
Yeah. I think you might have done 10 or something the first shot, or was that on the first pony?
First pony does like 5.
Yeah, it was. You did 10 in 1 shot for something, so I can't remember.
This one right here is coming in the second pony with the first 10.
So that's pretty sad times. I figured the TEP was probably going to die, so definitely wasn't worth it. I should have had my jacks up more central in front of it, because losing a jack and having the TEP still left alive for feat turn definitely would have been more better. But it is what it is. You got you got your 2 murder ponies from that unit that came in. Did you need the other unit to?
I killed it.
Yeah, you killed it with
I killed it with these 2.
Yeah. So that's pretty bad with the Curse of Shadows and with the half armor. Makes me sad. I purposely had my mechanics close by so that on the off chance that the TEP did somehow survive, I could try to repair it up. And I think you used your Frightmare to put a shot into it too.
I did
or something,
at one point.
Just
you shield guard it. That's how the Trapperkin got in.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So here's that big roll.
Yeah.
Dealing 10 points. No, sorry, no, it was 13 points of damage.
Oh, okay. There was one that was at least
like
10.
13, 15 points. Yeah. It basically one-shotted, and then I can't remember how I killed it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you could have repoed as well.
I could have. I'm just bad at this game.
Yeah. Oh, because you left. Oh, because your back guys are now out of command, but you were counting on.
I left them there
guys.
so you can kill them, so I could have those 3 charge something.
Right.
Recursion the 2 back, and then I just keep playing that game back and forth.
Yeah, and keeping them back far enough that I can't pick them off. So.
But Dave was smart and didn't do it.
Yep. Yeah, smart.
That's the word.
Yep, that's what I planned.
So here I am. I move my other guys up over the side here. I take some pot shots at some stuff that he's left me, like the corollary.
Shot at the corollary. I think you only did a 2-man CRA into the corollary, so I opted not to shield guard it. I wanted to try and I've got 2 or 3 elimination servitors nearby, and I wanted them to try and take out at least one of the Cask Imps. I was really not looking forward to having to use my monitor shot to take out a 0-point Cask Imp.
Yes.
So I wanted to have those guys there to.
So here we are, just seeing who can all see to
the monitor. So you do one big CRA. It's a 4 or 5 man or something.
5 man.
Yeah. So you end up being POW
16.
16 versus
And then I used
19.
my reposition 3 to space out a little bit better.
I did shield guard that one just to make sure, because there's only dice off 3 at that point. So shield guarded just to keep that damage off of them.
Those guys run on up to say hello.
And you got the shield guard or the repo because of the ability from Hollow.
That's right, Hollow Holden.
Yeah.
Best MVP.
Yeah.
And I believe who was moving up at this point? Oh, that's right. The Spider Boy.
Oh, right.
Spider Boy goes up. He's like, I got
Longfellow.
2 shots anyways. I'm just gonna shoot things. I missed both shots.
Oh, because you were shooting at you shot at at my
the guy
my mechanic who is getting the plus. I think he ends up being 17 or something. So so you needed 10s to hit. And there you removed, I can't remember with what, but you removed 1 servitor. I've still got just 1 in the zone there, but you have your murder ponies left to activate as well. And there he goes. I can't remember what just killed that servitor.
I just move up. I realize I'm so ahead on the clock right now. I just move up and I just get ready for the counter charge. I know he has to come at me.
Yep.
I go up to 3, I believe, at this point.
Not on turn 2. I think you go to 2. Oh, no, you get 1 on this turn.
1 on this turn.
1 on your zone because you don't have.
I didn't put the Trapperkin down.
You don't have a solo.
I didn't put the Trapperkin
on your
down
flag.
yet.
So.
Spoiler alert: Trapperkin comes out.
Here's your murder birds coming in.
Oh, the murder birds!
Getting a couple of charges on the diffuser and a couple of servitors, and just running to engage the arc node. And they are.
I love murder birds.
Murdering stuff.
Really good rolls on things.
Don't need a 2.
I don't need to roll that.
You don't
much.
need that.
I actually don't even. I not roll double once, and I kill most.
Yeah, because you become an 8 or something with your gang.
No, I'm a 9 base. I go to 11. And if I pray, it's 13.
Oh, what's their base?
A 9.
Matt?
Oh, not Matt. Sorry, Matt's 6.
Matt. So you're Matt 8.
Yeah.
So you need 4s to hit me. So.
Yeah.
So here's over to my turn. So I move forward. Did my avenging. Avenging force move and shoot. I was seeing how I could get that assimilator into Old Witch. So I moved him forward. I shot at the murder pony there to kill it.
Did 3 points to the Trapperkin.
And trying to just kill them to clear out of the way. And trying to figure out how. I'm still out of 9-inch charge range on the assimilator at this point to Old Witch, so I'm just figuring out what else I can do. The diffuser would normally give me a range extension, but I have to be able to shoot her, and I don't have enough range to do that with the range debuff. Because do you have Windstorm up this turn?
This one.
You do.
Not next turn.
Okay, gotcha. So I am, and this should be, turn 3A now.
Yeah, I think you pause it soon here to go change it.
Yes. So just figuring out how I'm going to get him into her. She's got 1 fury left on her, so I'm going to at least get 1 big shot. The assimilator is a...
oh, there you go. You ran away.
There we go.
Boop.
Is a POW 14 weapon master, which is nothing to sneeze at. So it's definitely different. I'm not used to punching things with this army. It's definitely more shooty, so more planning involved. So I'm just figuring out how I'm going to get the assimilator closer, and I figure that with Orion, he's got a special ability on his shot. If I hit an enemy model, I can either pull all models within 2 inches directly toward, or 2 inches directly away. So my plan is to try and get close enough to the Trapperkin to shoot it. I would have feeded so that my rat is higher. I want to get Orion close enough to Old Witch to get her within 16 inches for the feat effect. And sadly, I'm not feeling that the rest of my army is going to get that much use out of the feat, just because my heavies are having to basically punch through just duders that are in the way and that sort of thing. Not being able to get juicy ground pounders like I normally do is sad time. So just figuring out where my focus needs to be to make all of this happen. My plan is also to use the elimination servitors first to try and take out the 2 Trapperkin in my rectangular zone, and if not Trapperkin, Cask Imps, and if that doesn't work, then if I really have to, I can use my monitor to take one out so that I can at least keep the points matched up. This list can quickly get behind in points, especially in a scenario like Spread the Net, where there's lots of scoring elements. So I wanted to try and keep the points even, if at all possible, to make it harder for him to get ahead. So here I've just moved my my mechanics far enough away to make sure that I've got room. I can't remember if there was a method behind the madness of where they landed or just moving them forward. I wanted to keep them toward the zone as well, just on the off chance that I somehow clear the zone.
I have no idea.
That's my only unit.
Get them in the zone. Get them in the zone.
And so here is Orion. I think that was.
They already pulled it. Trapperkin's gone.
Oh, he already did it. Sorry, missed it. So he moved up, hit the Trapperkin I had feeded, pulled my assimilator farther ahead. Assimilator's got 3 focus on him, so that he's going to be able to charge in. And I also want to make sure that Orion has some things kind of around him and in front of him to prevent those stupid murder birds from getting to me. I also wanted to try and limit what Longfellow is going to be able to do. I contemplated shooting at Longfellow, but he was going to be high defense, and if I miss you, you get to shoot me back. So
defense 18, and I get to shoot you back.
Yeah, because were you getting the? I don't think you're getting the cover bonus, but I still needed
for what? For Orion?
You're back. Oh yeah, never mind. Sorry. That was a previous turn, so I couldn't even have reached you anyways because you're too far away.
No.
So, I was looking at the pony right behind the house. That's on a ladder turn. So I was trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to take out what's around. It would have been really nice to have cleared my rectangular zone and also my flag. Trying to figure out how I was going to be able to do that. I had placed the diffuser on the far left flank as a forced induction target, so that if he did swarm it with murder birds, I could do an auto POW 10 everything. So here I charged in with my assimilator, did a huge, like 17 points of damage or something.
Oh, it was disgusting.
You transferred it away. So I got the additional dice damage for the 1 fury, and then you didn't have any fury on you, so I got boosted attacks. I think I might have missed one.
You missed one
or something.
You rolled a 1,
which
2,
is
1, 1, 2.
Which is sad. So I don't know how much damage she ended up taking.
The Frightmare took 17.
Yeah.
And I took 5.
Yeah. So that was sad, but it at least put something in his face.
And I had to cut next turn. I was at 6 points of damage.
And here I'm just trying to do some shenanigans to try and take out what I can. It's difficult because the murder birds are so high defense. I believe I use my attunement servitor to scatter or shoot a shot that could not scatter far enough away that they are flared, and then tried to have my I think my elimination servitor took out 1 murder bird to free up my my arc node. And here just trying to figure out what I'm going to make happen on the right flank. Unfortunately, with where Orion is, he's not far enough to the right flank to get to the far left or far right Cask Imp in the feet, because he's really far that way. So I'm counting on the elimination servitors to try and take out what's there. I do miss. I could have moved forward and flared with one of my attunement servitors to give a better chance. I think I rolled double ones or something anyway.
So you've already flared it at this point. The top hat Cask Imp because you missed.
Yeah, I think I forgot to do it. So
no, you did, and then afterwards you moved up to 2.
Oh, okay.
You've already flared it.
Oh, flared it so that something else can get a shot.
Therefore,
on it, yeah. So here my my assimilator just killed a couple of dudes. I think maybe 3 dudes with melee attacks, and then repoed back behind the house. So definitely not an ideal activation.
You forgot to mention that you missed the Cask Imp.
Yes, I missed the Cask Imp.
And that's why his monitor moved down.
Yes, so I missed the Cask Imp, which is sad. So meaning that I could not score on my zone. So that was sad because I wanted to try to keep the points as even as possible. And I moved the Cypher just to place a couple of rough terrain templates. Again, there's lots of Pathfinder on the board, so not a big thing. But I also wanted him in front of Orion to kind of prevent anything from getting to Orion there. So just kind of damage control to protect him as much as possible. And figuring out that I have activated all my things and I don't have a solo that's close enough to be able to run into his zone to contest, which is sad. sad, which means that... Oh, no, sorry, I have... I was thinking
You had
that,
a
but
jack in there.
I had a jack in there.
You did the same thing you did in the game.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking I have to run something in there, and then I'm like, wait, there's still a jack in there. So that's something. I believe, did I contest on your top flag? I can't recall.
I didn't have a solo on there.
I didn't need to, yeah, because you didn't have a solo, so that's why. So
this turn here, we bring the Cask Imp in.
Yep. Oh, right, because he's going to wander forward and hit my elimination servitor.
Nope, he stays on the flag.
Oh, no, your Trapperkin you're talking about.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So Trapperkin's in, he's sitting on the flag.
I actually, for the first time in this game, actually moved my 2 inches of
Apparition-y goodness?
Yeah.
Yes, Apparition is good, if you remember.
And then there, so my guy runs at his servitor that couldn't shoot him.
Yep.
Just because he has to move.
Yep.
So I move forward here and I go and I kill the servitor and I just launch a flamey pile of doo-doo on top of his jack.
Yep.
Which he just says, nope, we're going to transfer that.
Yep. Because POW, it's fairly...
12.
Oh, it's only
POW
12.
12.
Okay.
It's a fire damage.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
Puts an AoE 3, keeps you on fire.
Yep. Gotcha.
So here we just get everybody moving up. We're trying to see what we can get at. I'm moving some dudes into his melee. I noticed that he's at 9 minutes on his clock, so I want to put as many things into his clock as I can and stuff to make him clock. I just start rolling, trying to take things out. So I shoot a couple of the servitors, going after his arc node at this point. He says no.
Yep, I shield guard it there because the arc node is important.
Yeah, and then from there I do one big CRA, I believe it is, into something. I'm trying to remember what I did. I probably did something.
I don't recall.
I don't know anymore. So here we move the Frightmare up, because Frightmare doesn't matter. Frightmare is really hurt.
Yep.
So Frightmare just pukes at something. And even with 1 dice damage, he cannot not kill things.
Yep. It's POW, at least POW 10 or something.
13, I think it is.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it's...
Oh, it's range 10. That's what
Yeah, range 10, POW 13, so...
So, killed one of the mechanics, and the field promote.
From here, I believe, was now when the Witch goes, and we're going to make it so you have no... we go to start... We cast...
Curse of
Shadows to go for
my
-2 armor.
Yeah.
And then I stomp you a couple times.
Yeah. For what it's worth, you also could have shot something. Not that it really mattered, but...
I'm really bad at remembering the shot.
I don't have any... I guess you could have shot a mechanic.
I could have shot a mechanic. Either way, I blind him.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is it's a cloud that stays.
Yes. That's the one thing that does affect the army still. So, but you're punching him, or stomping on him, I guess. You got 2 initials, and then I think you bought a couple...
Nope, no bot.
Nope,
because I gave Boundless Charge to...
Oh, right, because your Cage Rager is going to come in and... and
Cage Rager.
Yeah.
And I chose re-roll to hits.
Yep.
So here we go, and I hit really hard, and I take it out on the first swing or second swing?
I don't remember. Yeah, I'm armor 16 at this point, so your dice
plus 1, and
and you already cranked him with the Witch for a decent amount too.
Yeah,
so.
and then I rile him up because he's angry. His target's gone.
Yeah.
After that, you get up there. I'm like, let's just shoot his caster.
Yep, Longbottom's shooting, or Longfellow.
Yep, Longbottom. Neville Longbottom is now shooting things.
Yes.
I miss.
Longbottom is clumsy, so it makes sense.
Oh, I hit once, and I just didn't do damage.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I had 2 focus on me anyway, so I was kind of waiting because you do extra stuff to.
Yes, finisher and 4 dice damage.
All seems bad.
So here I am, just getting ready for the next turn again.
Getting your murder ponies in position.
Yeah, the murder ponies. I know that, like I said, he's down to about 9 minutes on clock, or 5 minutes. 5 minutes at this point.
You need a couple guys at a command too, right? So they kind of just all had to shuffle together, I think. So.
Yeah.
But at this point, I can't really threaten them with a whole lot.
Yeah.
So
and here, murder birds do some things. I do some back charges.
Murder birds are murdering.
Yeah, Dave is not happy about murder birds.
Yeah. They're very annoying.
Both servitors die.
Yep.
Very sad.
Surprise.
Yeah, they don't do so well off the charge. I got my ponies ready for the next turn so I can murder whatever lives.
Yep.
But we don't make it much further than this.
Yep.
I believe.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't see the clock really well.
Yeah, I've got my turn after this, but
I'm down about 12 minutes on mine. I think you're down at 5 on yours.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, I knew that I was definitely in a bad spot at this point. So we're at turn 4A. So he's at 3. I have not managed to score on my flag or in my zone, which is unfortunate. And I'm feeling like my activations, what I'm able to do with them, is very suboptimal. This is the one turn where you do not have.
I do not have
Windstorm
Windwall.
up, so I'm happy I can actually shoot things.
Yes.
So getting some shots off here just to take out a few guys again. Not super. I'm definitely feeling the pressure here because I don't. I'm not up on points, so I can't even just play quick and get to the point where I'm ahead that way or anything.
And I've made it so you can't play quick.
Yeah.
Because I put dudes out, I'm forced you to have to do something to put something in a zone. I'm going to take whatever you give me.
Yeah.
And I can play quick now.
Yeah. Yeah, because even if I had run my jacks forward, you have to deal with them, but it doesn't take
me long
much.
to deal with them when I have a Cage Rager.
Yeah. I could run them into a position where you can't charge them with a bunch of get the charges off.
If you don't get the ponies into it, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, but definitely feeling it. I knew I was going to try to get I was going to put my corollary. You can see the proxy in my zone to put the corollary there, and then do a forced induction through him to clear out all of his models in my zone, so I would score one.
For moral victory.
At this point, there's not really. I couldn't get anything onto your caster.
But you did contest my zone.
I could have ground pounded you actually. Not that it really mattered because you've got your armor 19 or whatever.
I have two transfers.
Yeah, so that's not a big deal.
No.
So definitely feeling the pressure. I could have shot you with Orion too, but it's only POW 13. So you had healed up the damage from before.
I did
anyway.
because she's the construct.
Yeah,
she gets healed like a construct.
Right, because she's living.
She's also living.
She can be repaired.
So the two sisters walked up and said, "Hey, heal all your damage."
And you had cut for extra as well.
Well, I did 6 points damage essentially, and then I just healed it all back. So I'm fully health at this point.
Yeah. So here I'm just again doing suboptimal activations. Just to was Windstorm up this turn?
It was not. No, because you got the ground pounder away. You just chose there because you got the most amount.
Because I could have ground pounded you. I could have shot you with Orion, and I could have got a crit brutal shot on you. So, no, I mean it's still probably not enough to kill you.
I would have eaten everything but the crit brittle if you didn't give me the crit brittle.
So,
and I think that's the end of the game right there. Is
here we're just talking about what potentially could have been done differently. I think the TEP was definitely a key piece in this matchup because it's the one thing that cannot be affected by the -5 range, and it can be very, very effective on the feet turn. Unfortunately, with Orion, the only thing that he can do to protect it is to put models in the way, and with your murder ponies, it had to be valuable models because they are calves, so they can. They can impact attacks even if I put servitors in the way. Short of putting it right in their face, they can't get the 3 inches of movement. It makes it very difficult that way. And with your army, you can put stuff in front and keep your ponies back for the countercharge of anything that comes in. So this list is definitely sad when it cannot be getting that the glorious shooting out. It's a much different story when I can shoot my 15, 16 inch threat ranges and then repo back and be doing damage and being out of range of things, but when I'm only range like 5.5 on everything, it makes life very sad.
It's almost the size of the template.
Yes, ground pounder is glorious, but when you can't get it where you need to, it makes things bad. So I think talking about it, my best option probably would have been to just run heavies at you as much as possible, give you a lot to deal with. I think
playing the aggressor would have really helped you in this matchup.
Yeah.
The first turn, I didn't play the aggressor and gave you a chance to, and I think you should have capitalized.
Yeah.
Once you gave me the aggressive position, which is where I'm at right now, I'm unfortunately controlling.
You get forward on the attrition, and you're up on points too, and I'm lower on clock. So, So if I had,
even if clock wasn't even a matter in this game, I think. At this point here, you've given me too much.
Yeah, if I had run my jacks, because the cipher, for example, is POW 18s. So that and the assimilator, for example. Getting it up there, then I could have even potentially just run the TEP straight at you, made you deal with that, and then had my jacks right behind it to try and charge in an old witch or something to that effect. But definitely, I felt that the match was at a disadvantage just because this list definitely likes to be shooting. All my jacks kind of look at me funny when I say. Here, have +2 mat to go to a mat 6 and go punch something because they're high quality attacks, so POW 14 Weapon Masters and POW 18s, that sort of thing. But when I'm only killing single duders at a time, it's definitely sad because you don't have a lot of jacks in this list. It's the melee game would have been better against beasts because it's hard to avoid the feat damage. But it's a good game. It's good practice. I definitely like the tip with Orion. Just got to work on better placement. And against a non-5 range list, Orion
I think it does quite well.
Yeah, Orion is a fantastic caster. He does a lot of awesome stuff. He does unfortunately compete for a spot with Iron Mother. Iron Mother does a lot of cool things too, more particularly into the Warmachine matchup because of backlash and such and domination. But Orion does a lot of very cool things.
And the Horde.
And it's hard to get around what he does with it because ground pounders, for example, ignore everything. Some people take teps with him, which are amazing on his feet turns. So Orion is really great. I don't recommend playing him into the Old Witch matchup though. So
I recommend it.
Yes. So that was
everybody may play Orion.
We were both list chickening, but the list chicken didn't go quite my way. So, but it was a good game. Thank you for the game, Chris, and thank you guys for watching. Definitely check out Attack X. So it's attack-x.com. Coming up September 14th, 15th, 16th. Come and grab some Iron Gauntlet qualifier points and just play some fun matches all weekend long. Love to see some folks out. And we will have next week's matchup posted soon, and we'll have the weekend of Attack X. I'll be probably won't be streaming, but I'll be recording a bunch of matches, and we'll have those available later for you guys as well. So thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next week.